You know what? Today I want to debunk some common myths about quitting alcohol and going sober. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Jamie Dottie Garza, and it's time to ignite your sobriety. And I want to debunk some myths out there about sobriety, about quitting alcohol, and tell you guys the truth about what you need to know, especially if you're embarking on this journey. Now, as someone who's celebrated over 700 days of sobriety, of quitting alcohol, I know that potentially debunking these myths can potentially help someone out there who is sober curious, who may be wanting to start sobriety, who may want to start quitting alcohol to activate the best version of themselves. And hopefully this video can help empower you. The first myth: being sober is boring. Sobriety is boring. Now, fun fact, I used to think this, but guess what? I was drinking very heavily at the time. At that time, I thought that being and consuming alcohol made me more funny. It made me more outgoing. It made me more charismatic. It made people want to be around me more. I felt like a magnet when I was drinking heavily. And when I look back at it, that's pure false. With that being said, there's always this fear that if you don't drink, you're gonna be less exciting. Or there's always this fear that when you don't drink, you're gonna feel a little stiff and maybe be SpongeBob and be a square. Especially in social settings, if you're around others, let's say a wedding or a family reunion, or you're just kickbacking with some of your friends, you may feel a little out of place. And I know for me, I used to judge others who didn't drink. Like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you drinking? Like, let's have some fun, man. Come on. Why are you so serious all the time? I used to think that. And the more now that I go out and the more I become an adult and then doing adulting things and more focused on my goals of where I want to be and where I want to put my time in, the more I realize, like, when you don't drink, you have full control. In fact, there's been plenty instances where I'm with my wife and we may go to a gala event for the Chamber of Commerce, or we may get invited to a wedding, or we may just be out with the family and everyone drinks and they're doing karaoke. But guess what? Your boy's doing karaoke too. Your boy's still dancing. Your boy's still outgoing. I'm still connecting. And it's become a thing where it's like, oh, it's not like my wife's telling me, you're so boring without alcohol. It's more or less I became so confident that I realized I didn't need the alcohol. So it's all perception of what you truly think. And if you feel like you're boring, guess what? You're going to attract that. You're going to always think that, and your confidence is going to be low, and you're going to think you're boring without it. I challenge you guys to try to eliminate alcohol or try to get away from it. And maybe it's like one social setting where you don't drink and see how, if anyone even notices. Most of the time when you do drink alcohol, we get in our minds so much that people care. The truth is no one cares. No one cares about you. They're thinking about themselves, and what alcohol tends to do, it keeps you trapped in this very narcissistic ego land because you think everybody's noticing you while you drink. You think all eyes are on you, when really in reality, when you're sober, and I see this all the time, no one cares. In fact, choosing not to drink will unlock more energy for yourself, but also it might be able to push you forward to building more confidence or doing things that you never would have if alcohol was keeping you down. So actually, being boring, actually, it might bring more excitement in your life. And I'm a proven testament of that. Like, it brings big excitement, not only to myself, but to my family, my wife, and the people I surround myself with in the community. Myth number 2, sobriety leads to social isolation. Many believe that choosing sobriety means losing friends, losing relationships, and losing opportunities. Now, I too felt this way for a few moments. Sobriety can actually mean digging deeper into relationships, being more genuine, being more focused, being more present, because no longer are you drinking and just thinking outlandish, or you're not in the ego realm of your brain and that dopamine world where you're always chasing a hit. You become more focused at who you're speaking to. So I don't feel like you'll lose friends. I feel like every person in your life is going to serve a chapter in your book. And sometimes as the book progresses, the chapters change. The people are going to change, the cast. And that's okay. You just got to get real comfortable with you maturing and developing and evolving. They say that you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. If I was to still around the same 5 people, well, this is kind of biased because 2 of my best friends are from my childhood, but if I was still chilling and around people from high school, where I'm at now, going on 35, I would not be where I'm at. You have to evolve over time. And if that means losing others because you want to better yourself, because you want to live longer, because you have bigger goals and admirations, well, they deserve to go. In fact, I still go to networking events and I meet a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of successful business owners and CEOs. And really, I feel like because I'm sober, I'm able to connect way deeper and build way meaningful more relationships, and to add that to my ecosystem and my network. And over the past 2 years, I've seen a huge increase in not only revenue in my business because of that, but also being referred, but also being top of mind, but also building real friendships in my community. Myth number 3, you can only get sober through abstinence. There's this belief, and I know on this channel I am talking about being sober, and I talk about my journey and being completely free of alcohol for 600 days, 700 days. It's going to continue, right? But there is this myth online that it's like an all or nothing type of thing. And there's this belief that sobriety often means never touching a drop of alcohol ever again. But also just understand this has been a journey for me. I finally made the plunge of just going completely off of it and sustaining that, because when I was going 1 foot in, 1 foot out, I was sober curious at many times in my life, but I was training my body to start somewhere. And it got to a place where I realized this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what God has called me to do. I've been convicted where I don't crave these things anymore. So of course I'm gonna go with it, because at the end of the day, sobriety is about making a change so you could be the best version of yourself. If that means getting sober curious and starting to slow down on your drinking. If you're someone like me who used to indulge a lot in hard liquors like Hennessy weekly, going through fifths, maybe that means going to pints. Maybe that means going to strictly beer. Maybe that means only drinking on the weekends. Maybe that means just having champagne here and there on holidays. And it could look like that gradually. I got to this point because I too went through steps gradually to get to where I'm at right now. It took me, it's about to be 2 years in 2022, April 18th of 2022. It took me 2 years to finally be who I am right now, talking about all this, because I went through it. So it doesn't always have to mean all or nothing. I'm quitting cold turkey and never turning back. We all slip up. People slip up. People slip up from diets all the time. People slip up from discipline all the time. It's tough. Discipline is tough. If it was easy, we wouldn't be talking about this. But at the end of the day, it all matters of what works best for you. Myth number 4, sobriety solves all your problems. Sounds great, right? Your life is going in shambles. It's darker than dark. It's like never getting better. And you decide to go sober and you expect all your problems, personal, professionally, internally, mentally, all these problems to be gone away. More times than anything, when you start going sober, you're gonna feel like the problems are even more intense, and you're gonna get so aggravated, and you're gonna be like, screw this, let me just go back to who I was, because that's how it is. When you're someone who, especially like I was, drinking a lot over many years, it's gonna have to get worse before it gets better. It's because at that point your body doesn't know any better, and you don't know any better or what it feels like to even be sober. Some people think that quitting alcohol is the end-all be-all for eliminating life's challenges. I'm here to give a newsflash, because as someone who is forever growing, not only as a leader in my business, as a leader to my children, to my leader to my walk with God, as a leader to my wife, there's always going to be something. At that point, it just takes you reframing things and just knowing that at the end of the day, why not you? Things happen in your life to make you better. You have to go through obstacles and triumphs to get stronger. If we go back to working out, are you really going to quit working out because your body gets sore? No, that means it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's going to hurt. Things are going to hurt, but it's going to make you stronger because you keep ripping that muscle. You keep ripping that tissue. We as individuals and as humans have to get ripped to become better and get to the best versions of ourselves. You never fail. You always either win or you learn. Now, I'm not saying that going sober will not help you make better decisions, because it does. It keeps you more focused. It keeps you more emotionally stable. It keeps you more disciplined. It keeps you in the right path of aligning of exactly where you want to go or who you are really, and not having to blame anything on alcohol or not attribute all your successes because of a bottle. It's empowering, and that is true. But again, this isn't no magic fix to fix everything in your life. Everything takes time, and we have to go through it, the good and the bad, the positive, the negative. I don't even believe in negative no more. Like, it is what it is at this time. It's all part of God's plan. But it takes a certain leader to confront issues, to actually communicate, and to actually understand. And if you're someone out there who may need to seek therapy or different professional means, that's an opportunity to do so as well. But it's not the cure all be all to fix your whole life and everything's happy. And myth number 5, you have to hit rock bottom. And I'm not talking about The Rock laying the smackdown, but you have to hit rock bottom in order to go sober. So many people think that, I know I used to get this a lot, like, oh, I've gone sober. Oh man, what happened? Oh my gosh, you okay? I believe in this world that there's going to be clues left around you. I shared this in my first few videos. There was always clues around me, you know, family members getting DUIs, best friends getting locked up for bad judgments with alcohol, even some of my friends dying because they're in wrecks because of alcohol. All these signs were around me. Why would I? These are signs. If you become aware of them, it's time to switch things up. But the notion out there of you have to hit rock bottom to become sober is full cap. As my kids would say, that's cap. Thankfully, I didn't hit my rock bottom, but I felt a conviction in me, first of all. But I knew in order to be the best version of myself, and especially who I want my kids to admire and becoming a leader, I knew what I had to do. Some of the success stories you hear of alcohol, for example, 50 Cent, he never hit rock bottom to become sober. He saw the clues. He saw the clues of those around him, what alcohol did to them, and he learned at a younger age, like, you know, I'm not even gonna get involved with alcohol. Instead, I'll sell it because I'm a hustler, but I'm not gonna sip it. So it's two ways to look at it. And don't think you have to hit rock bottom to become sober, because you can do this anytime you want, when you're ready, when you've been convicted by the Lord. It can happen in many facets of your life. You just gotta be aware of it. At the end of the day, it's never too late to embark on a healthier lifestyle and a healthier track, because at the end of the day, we only get one body. Okay, this is our vehicle. We have to treat this as so. I got kids now. I got a lot of purpose now. So I'm trying to be here for a long time. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to smash that like button. If you want to see more content like this on the channel, I encourage you to subscribe, because I will be uploading more content like this to ignite your sobriety.